Welcome, everyone, to this special episode of our video podcast, Healthcare Safety Spotlight. I'm your host, Alex, and today we're diving deep into a topic that's especially timely as the holidays approach, or really, anytime you feel the urge to brighten up your healthcare environment, whether it's for a staff event, patient morale boost, or seasonal cheer. We're calling it So You Think You Can Decorate. Because, let's be honest, who doesn't love transforming a sterile hospital or clinic space into something a bit more welcoming and festive? But in the world of healthcare, where patient safety is paramount, it's not just about slapping up some streamers and calling it a day. It's about balancing that creativity with strict adherence to safety protocols to avoid disasters.
Absolutely right, Alex. I'm your co-host, Jordan, and we're turning this into a fun game show-style competition. Imagine it like a reality TV challenge where the only prizes are full compliance, avoiding those hefty fines that can run into six figures, and most crucially, ensuring the safety of patients, staff, and visitors. There are no dramatic eliminations here, just practical, actionable tips to help you score that perfect 10 with the regulatory judges every single time. And before we dive in, let's set the scope crystal clear. This isn't about permanent interior finishes like wall panels, paint colors, or flooring materials, which have their own complex rules under the Life Safety Code. Nope, we're zeroing in specifically on temporary, combustible decorations. Kind of stuff like posters, paper banners, artificial trees, string lights, and all those festive items that staff love to put up for a short time and then take down. These are the ones that can sneakily turn into hazards if not handled right.
Spot on, Jordan. We've all felt that natural urge in the holidays hit or there's a special event to hang a banner, wrap a door, or string up some lights to make the space feel less clinical and more comforting for patients and staff alike. But as we'll explore, that simple act runs headfirst into the rigorous standards of the Life Safety Code, and ignoring them isn't just a minor oops, it could lead to immediate facility shutdowns, massive financial penalties, or, in the worst cases, tragic outcomes during an emergency. So stick with us as we unpack the ultimate cheat sheet to nailing this judge's test and keeping everything compliant, safe, and still full of cheer.
All right, let's kick things off by meeting the panel of judges who'll be scrutinizing every decoration decision you make. These aren't your average TV critics. They're the heavy hitters in fire safety and healthcare regulation. And understanding who they are and what they care about is key to winning this game.
First on the panel is the NFPA, the National Fire Protection Association. They're essentially the rulebook writers, crafting the national fire safety standards primarily through NFPA 101, known as the Life Safety Code. This code is a comprehensive document that's updated every few years. Right now, many facilities follow the 2012 or 2021 editions, but it varies. And it covers everything from building construction to occupancy rules, with a big emphasis on preventing fire ignition and spread in high-risk environments like hospitals.
And if the NFPA sets the rules, then CMS, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, is the money judge. They oversee funding for healthcare facilities through Medicare and Medicaid programs, which means their audits can directly impact your operational budget. Fail a compliance check here, and you're looking at withheld reimbursements or even decertification, which could cripple up a facility financially. They've got strict enforcement because, at the end of the day, they're ensuring taxpayer dollars go to safe, quality care.
Ouch is right. That hits where it hurts. Next up is the Joint Commission, often abbreviated as TJC or TJCO. They're the head judges for accreditation, focusing on the broader picture of patient safety, quality management, and overall operational excellence. While they incorporate NFPA standards, they also layer on their own elements like performance improvement and infection control, making sure decorations don't interfere with those holistic goals.
And finally, the one whose decision feels most immediate, the AHJ, or Authority Having Jurisdiction. This is typically your local fire marshal, building inspector, or sometimes even a state health department official. They're the boots-on-the-ground enforcers who physically walk your halls during inspections, point at a decoration, and say, that's got to come down now. What's tricky is that their interpretation of the code can vary slightly by jurisdiction, so it's crucial to build a relationship with your specific AHJ, understand their local nuances, and maybe even invite them for a pre-decoration walkthrough to get ahead of any issues.
Exactly, Jordan. Tying it all together, these judges are all aligned on 4 unbreakable core goals that underpin every rule we'll discuss. Number 1, patient safety. Always the top priority, ensuring nothing compromises care or well-being. 2, fire safety, which means preventing ignition sources and controlling any potential spread. 3, maintaining clear egress and escape routes so in an emergency everyone can evacuate quickly without obstacles. And 4, protecting critical equipment like fire alarms, sprinklers, and medical devices from being blocked or damaged. Violate any of these and it's game over. Not just a citation, but potential real-world harm.
Now that we've met the judges, let's jump into the most common and potentially catastrophic mistake. Ultimate forbidden move. The fire door fail. Picture this. It's the holiday season, spirits are high, and someone gets the bright idea to wrap a fire door in colorful paper, turning it into a giant present or hanging a massive banner across it. We've all seen it happen, right?
Oh, absolutely. And it's an instant disqualification every time. Fire doors aren't just ordinary doors. They're precision-engineered pieces of life safety equipment, rated to withstand flames and smoke for specific durations, like 20 minutes, 45 minutes, or even an hour, depending on the building's design. Their job is to compartmentalize a fire, buying precious time for evacuation and containment. Wrapping them or sticking anything on their surfaces is strictly prohibited under NFPA 101, and for very good reasons.
Let's break down those 4 fundamental whys in detail, because understand the rationale helps drive home why this rule is non-negotiable. First, you're adding fuel to a potential fire. Wrapping paper, banners, posters, these are all combustible materials. By taping them directly onto what should be a fire-resistant barrier, you're essentially providing kindling that could accelerate fire spread right at the point where containment is critical.
Second, and this is a big, you're messing with a machine. A fire-rated door is a sophisticated system with components like self-closing mechanisms, latches, seals, and intumescent strips that expand under heat to block smoke. Even a thin layer of paper can get caught in the latch, cover edge seals, or add bulk that prevents the door from swinging shut fully and latching securely. If it doesn't latch, the door fails its primary function, turning a contained fire into a hallway inferno.
Third, it directly impacts egress escape routes. In a real emergency, seconds matter. Imagine panicked staff or patients trying to push through a door only to have sticky tape or ripped paper cause a delay. That brief fumbling could mean the difference between safe evacuation and tragedy, especially in a healthcare setting with vulnerable populations like the elderly or those with mobility issues.
And fourth, you're hiding potential dangers. The wrapping obscures the door's surface, potentially covering up existing damage like cracks, dents, or wear that could already compromise its integrity. More critically, it hides the mandatory safety labels. These small metal plates detail the door's fire rating, manufacturer, and certification. If an inspector can't see those labels during a survey, they have to assume the door is non-compliant, leading to an immediate citation.
Wow, when you lay it out like that, it really underscores how what seems like a harmless festive touch can cascade into serious risks. So, how do you score that perfect 10-10 on the door test? Simple. Leave all fire-rated door surfaces completely untouched. No tape, no paper, no banners, nothing. If you absolutely must add some decor nearby, opt for a wreath or small item on the adjacent wall, ensuring it's made of documented flame-retardant materials and easily removable without leaving residue.
Great point, Jordan. With doors off limits, let's shift to the broader canvas. Winning moves versus rookie mistakes when it comes to materials and overall strategy. The winners always prioritize items that are inherently safe, like UL-listed electrical lighting. LEDs are fantastic for low heat, and artificial decorations specifically labeled as flame retardant. Think certified artificial trees or banners treated with fire-resistant chemicals.
On the flip side, rookies often stumble by bringing in highly combustible stuff without thinking. The number one offender? Real, live-cut Christmas trees. They might look and smell great initially, but indoors they dry out incredibly fast, turning into massive fire hazards with a huge fuel load. Imagine a dry tree igniting flames could spread in seconds, overwhelming sprinklers.
And let's not forget the tinsel trap, which ASHE, American Society for Healthcare Engineering, specifically warns against. Garland and tinsel might seem innocuous and sparkly, but most aren't flame retardant, and their wispy design allows flames to race along them. Plus, they shed bits that can clog HVAC systems, potentially causing mechanical issues or even fire risks there. If it's shiny and lightweight, it's often an immediate red flag for inspectors, best to avoid altogether.
But the real depth comes in the math, knowing your arena with those percentage rules for combustible wall coverings. This is where many well-intentioned teams fail because they don't measure. In non-sprinklered areas, think older buildings or certain storage rooms, limit is a tight 20% of the total wall surface. That means if a wall is 100 square feet, only 20 can have paper or similar combustibles.
In sprinklered common areas, like hallways, waiting rooms, or cafeterias, you get a bit more leeway at 30%. And here's the nuance. Sprinklers allow wisp because they provide an active suppression system, but you still can't go overboard. And then there's the 50% allowance in small, sprinklered patient rooms designed for 4 or fewer occupants. Why the jump? It's a thoughtful compromise in the code, recognizing the therapeutic value of a personalized healing environment. Things like family photos, get well cards, kids' drawings, these boost patient morale and recovery. In a controlled, small space with sprinklers and 24/7 staff oversight, the fire load remains manageable compared to a busy corridor. But remember, this 50% is for patient-sourced items, not a license for staff to plaster the room with giant murals.
To make this concrete, let's put it to the test with a real-world scenario. A department wants to decorate a wall in the public cafeteria, measuring 15 feet long by 12 feet high. First step, calculate the total area. 15 times 12 equals 180 square feet.
Assuming it's a sprinklered common area, we apply the 30% rule. 30% of 180 is 54 square feet. Visualize that. It's roughly a 9-foot by X-foot section, or maybe 3 standard bulletin boards side by side. Sounds reasonable. Moving beyond walls, let's talk stage boundaries, those non-negotiable clearance zones. Corridors are lifelines in healthcare, needing to stay clear for rapid movement of beds, stretchers, and equipment. In newer buildings, the minimum clear width is often 8 feet, but check your facility's code, older ones might be 44 inches. No matter what, decorations can't intrude. Imagine an inflatable decoration narrowing the path during an evacuation chaos.
And for equipment, the 36-inch clearance rule is sacred. That's a 3-foot bubble around fire alarm pull stations, extinguishers, and hose cabinets. Why 36 inches? It's based on human factors, ensuring quick visibility and access without obstruction. In a fire, you need to spot and grab that extinguisher instantly, not move a plant or decoration first. Blocking these is an immediate fail, as it directly violates egress and equipment protection goals.
Diving deeper into surfaces. We've covered fire-rated doors as off-limits. But for non-fire-rated doors, like some office ones, limited decor is possible, as long as it doesn't interfere with function, stays within percentages, and uses flame-retardant materials. Still, err on caution, better safe than sorry.
Walls offer more flexibility. Within those limits we discussed, opt for flame-retardant posters or artwork. But ceilings? That's a strict no-fly zone. Drop ceiling tiles and grids often serve as part of the fire and smoke barrier system, and hanging anything can penetrate or weigh them down, compromising integrity. Plus, it might disrupt airflow for smoke detection or HVAC balance.
Now, powering it all up, electrical safety is where innocent lights can turn deadly. Pro moves include using only UL-listed items, Underwriters Laboratories tested for safety, preferring LEDs for cool operation. Always do a pre-use inspection, check cords for frays, plugs for cracks. If damaged, toss it, no fixes.
Plug power strips directly into wall outlets only. The big rookie mistake. Daisy chaining plugging strips into strips or extension cords. Each connection adds resistance, risking overloads, overheating, and fires. It's a top cause of electrical incidents in temporary setups. Extension cords? Generally banned for decorations in healthcare, they're trip hazards and not rated for prolonged use. No outlet? Switch to battery-operated LEDs or relocate the decoration.
Now to the safety systems, perhaps the most critical components of the building, or in other words, the building's first responders, such as sprinklers, detectors, and more. For sprinklers, maintain that 18-inch clearance below each head. Why 18? It's the minimum for the water to form its umbrella spray pattern, covering the area effectively. Obstruct it with a banner or storage, and water hits the blockage instead of the fire, letting it grow unchecked.
Never hang from sprinkler heads or pipes. Could trigger accidental activation, flooding chaos, or prevent proper function in a real fire. For smoke detectors and HVAC vents, per NFPA 72 and 90A, no blocking. It delays smoke sensing or messes with air pressure for containment. A blinded detector means delayed alarms, turning a small issue into a catastrophe.
Pulling it together with the final scorecard. Good list. Flame-retardant materials with proof, UL-listed devices, smart placement honoring all clearances, and thorough documentation like tags and memos.
Naughty list, wrapping doors, exceeding percentages, hanging from sprinkler ceilings, blocking equipment corridors, daisy chaining, or damaged cords. These aren't arbitrary. They stem from lessons learned from past fires in healthcare settings.
To take home the trophy, follow this proactive 4-step game plan. Step 1. Know the rules, review your facility's specific policy, which might be stricter than the base NFPA, and note the code edition.
Step 2. Plan your performance sketch layouts, list materials, and submit for safety officer approval to catch issues early.
Step 3. Show your work. Keep all documentation handy. It's your defense in inspections.
Step 4. When in doubt, ask. Your safety officer is a partner in safe celebration, not an adversary.
There you have it. Detailed strategies to decorate like a champ, infuse joy, but prioritize safety. We're not here to steal holiday spirit. We want it amplified without risks.
Thanks for tuning into Healthcare Safety Spotlight. For questions and more training videos, contact smectra.troton.me. Happy, safe holidays. See you next time.